That weekend, they told us that he had cancer. Needless to say, panic.
Hey there. Welcome to Top of Mind. Real talk for today's woman. With Anna and Karen.
And we're back. So, again, big, so that I know where to cut these things. So, one of the things I'm going to talk about, because I can talk about it now, and I knew what I was going through at the time, but and you may be in this place or have experienced this. You just want to talk about how this impacted me and what I'm trying to do around it. So, about a month ago, my brother always calls me back if I email him, do whatever like that. He always gets back to me, and I emailed him on the Monday, didn't hear from him. Tuesday, I think I phoned and left a message. It was his birthday that week, and on Wednesday I came home and I said to Sue, he's in hospital. Don't know. I only knew that his normal routine of getting hold to me wasn't, and that's exactly where I went. So I phoned his wife, and sure enough, he'd been in hospital. That he went in on the Monday, and that weekend they told us that he had cancer.
Oh,
So, needless to say, panic, freaking out, this type of stuff. Now, in my family, I've already lost my parents. I lost my father at a young age. Well, I could 40s when it was I lost my mom in my 50s. Sue doesn't have any family. I have my brother. He's got two children. One's in London, one's here. So the family is very, very small. But he's the one that I have the connection with. And all of a sudden it was like, oh my God, besides what was might be going through, what might happen to him,
hmm
being who I am as a person in recovery, my first honest thought was all about me. Yeah. That selfishness and self-centeredness I have to
Oh,
battle about every day was, oh my God, like I'm gonna be I didn't think like an orphan, but it's like family. I don't have family anymore. I
hmm
won't have family. What does that mean?
hmm
Um, and so just to spoiler alert, the reason why I can talk about this now is he decided he didn't have that. It's something else. It's more than likely going to be fixable. We're still going through things. I think it's a
Wow.
clot, right? That's what they're looking at. But so that's why now I can talk about it is because he's not terminal, he's not dying. So there's something fixable.
I mean, how do you go from brain cancer to clot? I mean, I can't imagine emotionally between him, his wife, his kids, you.
I know.
Like, talk about, and again, they call it the practice of medicine for a reason. Um, it's very gray, but still, I mean, that's almost traumatic.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it was brutal. And I mean, like it wasn't me. I
hmm
can't. I mean, he was just waiting for the next test um, you know, uh, to tell him more about what he had, which we figured was the cancer. What type? Does he have 1 week or 6 months? Like, and then to find out, well, no, the test said not. It's like what. There's that part of me that says, why did they even go there?
Right.
If they weren't sure,
hmm Yeah,
you
I
know?
agree.
So, and yeah.
And I agree with you because, I think, like I had lost, my dad and my brother 6 weeks apart in '09, and then I lost my sister very unexpectedly in 2014, and lost my mom in 2016, and then lost my other sister last year. And
Oh my
it's,
God.
it's just my sister and I. It's just the two of us now. Um, and it's an interesting, feeling. So I get, of course you're going to, oh, woe is me. I mean, that's our first inclination, and um, that's our bias, if you will. Um, but it's tough. I mean, it's tough when you watch your family unit, which is the core, just kind of dwindle down.
Yeah.
And then
And, and
and we talked about this before, Karen. Like, I look at other people, who still have their parents who are my age, and who have all of their siblings, and sometimes I get jealous.
yeah, yeah.
It's just not, it wasn't my journey. It's not your journey. We're here for a different journey, but it doesn't make it easy sometimes.
No, no. It's funny that you mentioned that business retreat that it was at, the woman who hosted it, her mother came. And her mother's 75 years old. She's been an entrepreneur her whole life. That's where her example was. And a very successful businesswoman. But for her, it was all about some personal stuff that she came expecting the spa part of it, and she'd have a
Uh-huh.
nice weekend. And she participated. And you know what? I said, you're the most improved. It was all the personal stuff. But
Uh-huh.
but just watching them, and you talk about being jealous. It wasn't jealous. It was like I was so sad for my mom. My mother would never have done something like that with me,
Right.
but just to watch them
Yes.
sharing that together, you're right. It's kind of like, well, I don't have that anymore, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And during COVID, one thing that I became aware of, I still worked as a police officer in people's homes, 911 during COVID. And what really shocked me was how many people are really alone out there,
Mm-hmm.
that are unattached, that don't have family in the same way. That work was all they had. And when COVID hit, like I was in people's homes that I would never have been in contact with as a police officer for any way, except for they no longer knew what to do.
Wow.
They weren't calling for criminal matters.
Mm-hmm.
They were calling because they felt suicidal for the first time in their life.
Mm-hmm.
Or they had an argument with somebody and they didn't, they were going to blow their top. They didn't know what to do. They impulsively would call. Well, once you've impulsively called, we have to show up.
Right.
And what I came across was just how many people are unattached.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of
That
falls into
connection.
yeah, and so it kind of falls into that whole theme of, I'm not, I am working on that connection. It was just another, poof, kick to the stomach. Now there won't be family. Like, and the truth of the matter is, I do have a niece and nephew, and you know, I put it on me. You can sit there and bemoan somebody didn't call me, but did you pick up the phone and call?
Right.
I have some friends that actually do count that. I've heard them say. Did so and so pick up the phone or this type of stuff? And it's like, I used to do that a long time ago. And instead I stopped doing that, that counting and seeing. Instead, what I started to look at, how do they respond?
Mm-hmm.
You know, do they answer the phone and say, hi, it's nice to hear you. It's nice to speak to you. When I say, do you want to get together? Is it, okay, next time we'll talk, we'll talk and we'll make it, or do they say, yes, how about Tuesday?
Right.
You know, and I think
Mm-hmm.
sometimes that's really important that we have to extend ourselves. And I'm saying this and reminding myself, sometimes I just have to extend myself and be a little bit uncomfortable. So, anyway, it was something that hit me. I'm struggling with at this point. How do you define family? What do I do now?
Mm-hmm.
My mother was the one who kept grandchildren and children and all that together. And when she left, it ended up being my brother and me, and then him and his family. And it's kind of like, how do I integrate into that? If he's gone, it's all gone.
Yep.
So, it's sometimes it's not fun getting older.
No, it's tough. And I will share like when you say, when you talk about like your responsibility, like that would be the biggest regret I had with my sister who passed in 2014. One feeling as if I had more time
Yeah.
because, we found her, she had collapsed and died. So we had no time. And two, how interested I was in 2014 in keeping score.
Mm,
Everything that she didn't do. Um, and like her older daughter is my best friend
mm,
and has been probably, I was 13 when Danielle was born, and she's literally, it's hard for me to look at her as my niece versus my sister because she truly is my best friend. Um, but I just go back to the score, and at the end of the day, and I'll just say this as women, like we have no idea what someone is dealing with. Like, my sister had her struggles, it would piss me off because she was a pothead and I'm like, how dare her? Um, Now looking back, I realized none of that shit mattered. But I was I was a different person too. And I was very, not that I'm where I need to be yet, I'm evolving, but I was less in a healed space in 2014 than I am in today, 10 years later. Um, but it was all about keeping score. Well, she didn't reach out to me. Well, she didn't give, Catherine her birthday present, or she didn't do this and she didn't do that. And damn, you did. And God, if I could just go back.
mm.
So here's the good news. Your brother's still here.
Yes. So I can, yes.
Your brother is still here. And
Yep.
thankfully, his diagnosis is not dire.
Yeah.
And we're all going to pray, and we're all going to like keep him up with positive energy and surround him with love and peace during his healing time. Because it's not, hey, he doesn't have brain cancer, but he has a blood clot. It's not a walk in the park. Okay.
No,
So,
no.
we're going to embrace him with love and light for his healing journey. But I'm glad you have, more of an opportunity.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for that.
And you know what? It's a good reminder. And I know that I've been a little bit more modeling, I guess, towards those that are in my life and thanking them and appreciating them. And more importantly, saying, I love you. I think we did this a little while back, and like you say, it's like those moments, don't negate them. Don't let them slip
Don't
by.
squander them.
That's it.
Don't think, I can do this tomorrow, or, sometimes you don't get tomorrow. So
Yes. Wow. Okay, so on that wonderful note, I think we'll close this one off for a day. We need to make something happen.
man, we are just bouncing out the positivity.
Oh, I know, yeah. You know what it is, and I'm just gonna put this out. We don't want to hear about it, but today is the day of elections and what's been announced, and both of us started this with a lower energy, shall we say. So it's obvious that, it's impacting us both in a way that where we're thinking and that type of stuff is rather interesting. Anyway, on
And
that
it's
note,
okay because we're here to show our heart, right?
yeah,
So
exactly.
sometimes you get good energy, sometimes you just get energy. It's all good though.
It's just energy. So I'm Karen Vale, a confidence and mindset coach, and I am here with
I am Anna Jennings, and I'm a midlife mentor.